Good morning, everybody. I'm Kimberly Edwards for Tonka Live magazine, and this is Cooking Adventures with Kimberly. And today I'm going to show you guys how to make banana pear granola spelt muffins. Now that sounds like a whole bunch of stuff, but really it's just a banana and a pear, a tiny bit of granola, and instead of using regular flour, I'm using spelt flour. So that's why it sounds like a great big mouthful when it really isn't. So this is what we're going to start with. I'm going to start with the wet ingredients and show you that. Right now I've got one really ripe banana. It's in my bowl, and I'm just going to mash it up with a regular potato masher. And that's that. It's really easy to do because it's super ripe. Now super ripe, I mean the skin is darkened. It has dots, spots, the black spots, or it's quite dark, but it's not like rotten. You got me? It's just further ripe, and no one really wants to eat it that way, but it's great for baking. It puts a lot of moisture, puts a lot of flavor into your dishes. Next thing is I have a pear. Now all I've done is I just peeled it with like a peeler. Simple stuff, right? Just a regular old pear. I'm using my very, very sharp knives. These knives, I have to brag on them. They're the best. I just got these knives from ProChefGearPlus.com. And these are my Mercer Renaissance knives I've been waiting to get. They are beautiful. This is an 8-inch chef's knife. Awesome, awesome knives, incredibly sharp. So be very, very careful. Now I also got the little paring knife. It's the best. And so you just slice that in half and another quarter. So they're in quarters. And now what I need to do is I'm taking out the stem, taking the stem off with my paring knife. Okay? And I'm going to cut that core out. So I'm just going to cut that out like that ever so gently, and then that nice peel at the bottom. Okay? The reason I took off, you can keep the pear skins on if you want to, but I find that pear skins can often become quite bitter when you're cooking and baking with them, depending on the pear and depending on the situation. So I'm not going to take that chance today because these are muffins and I don't want bitter muffins. Like, who wants bitter muffin face? Is there such a thing? I guess there's bitter beer face, right? It's bitter muffin face? That wouldn't be cool. That sounds gross. So anyway, here we go, and I'm just going to slice this into chunks now. Chunk, 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 chunk. And make them a little bit smaller as well. I want them pretty uniform. So I'm going to slice that one more time, and then I'm just going to slice into chunks. This is about the size I want you to do. It's nice sweet pears. Here you go. Oop, there you go. Real live television, all right? Here we go. Alright, so the reason I'm making these, and I know you guys are thinking, wow, I've been doing outdoor recipes for the last couple months out in the freezing cold, and that's exactly why I'm doing this today, because I don't want to go out in the freezing cold. It's very cold here today. And what I know is that before we leave the house in the morning, we need to eat something. You got me? So if you're going to go out on the lake, on Lake Minnetonka, or any other lake for that matter, anywhere, and you're going to go in the winter time, it's cold, you need energy, so you gotta eat something. These are some muffins that are gonna give you a little kick in the morning. Hold on, I need to rinse my hands off. I'm also gonna show you how to put a little immune booster in here. It's a secret weapon of mine. All right, so I'm gonna get rid of this cutting board because I no longer need it. Cool. All right, next thing, 2 eggs, okay? And I have them in a separate bowl because when you crack eggs, you have the ability to miss opportunity to get eggshells in there. So be careful. And I always do it in another bowl to make sure that that doesn't happen. If it does happen, it's easy to get it out instead of having it already all mixed with all the other ingredients. You'd be so mad. Or start off the whole batch with the eggs in the bowl to begin with. If you are so unfortunate as to get an eggshell in your bowl, you want to use the eggshell, the actual rest of the shell, and try and scoop it out with that. It sort of acts as a magnet, and I'm telling you, it works, I swear. If you've ever tried to chase an eggshell around a bowl with your finger or a spoon or anything else, it doesn't work very well. It just runs away from you and you get very frustrated. It's not cool. The eggshell works. Promise, promise, promise. I need a whisk. I just want to whisk these eggs up quickly. Just because I feel like it. I guess you don't really need to. You can mix it all in, but I think it'll make it's easier to combine, and then it's going to be a little bit fluffier and lighter, right? All right. So I'm pouring my wet eggs into my wet bowl with my banana and my pears in it. Next, I'm adding 1/3 of a cup of milk, 1/2 cup of iced tea. Now I'm going to tell you the reason why I'm adding iced tea. I would usually add a fruit juice. I actually added lemonade last time, but you fruit juice like an orange juice and apple juice. You can use stuff like that, but I didn't have any left, and lemonade I used last time, so I wanted to use my iced tea. I'm looking for a sweetness and a liquid. Got me? I often cook with tea. If you watch any of my other shows, you'll see that I often cook with tea. So don't be scared to cook with tea. Iced tea works just the same. This is homemade iced tea now. I just made the homemade. Check it out online. It's really easy to do. Check it out on my site, cookingwithkimberly.com. All right, so I'm just stirring this, and I'm also going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Please use real vanilla extract. I'm going to tell you why. The artificial vanilla extract is just that. It's artificial. It's not really vanilla extract. And that doesn't sound so bad, right? It's just flavoring. But I'll tell you what, that artificial vanilla extract is made of vanillin. And vanillin is a byproduct of making paper. It's just a pretty way of saying another chemical. So it smells like vanilla, it tastes like vanilla, it looks like vanilla, but it's bad for you, okay? Please buy regular vanilla extract. You will be glad you did, because the flavor is so much more intense and beautiful. Got me? All right, so I'm just stirring this up so everything is evenly combined in this wet bowl. Got me? I'm gonna move that over here. Next, we're going to, oh wait, I need 4 tablespoons of oil. I'm using canola oil today. You may use safflower, sunflower, canola, vegetable. I would use one that doesn't have much flavor. You don't want like olive oil in here. You don't want to make it taste like olive oil, okay? Olive oil has a distinct flavor that doesn't probably go with muffins like this, but hey, to each his own. A lot of people do bake with olive oil, and I have done so as well, but today I just, do whatever you want. If all you got is olive oil, then you use olive oil, you hear me? You do that, especially if you're out at the cottage. If you're out at the lake, and you're probably at the cottage, I mean, you probably don't have every little thing you wanted. Mind you, if you lived there on Lake Minnetonka, you'd be awesome, because you'd have all kinds of stuff. I'd be stocked up and ready to cook. My goodness. All right, so that is stirred in. Next, here's my big dry bowl ingredient bowl. Here we go. This is a big bowl. This is a sifter or a strainer or a colander. It's made of like that window screen material. And what I'm using it for is to sift my dry ingredients, which means it's going to make things lighter and fluffier. Okay? It's also going to make sure that there's no weird things that got stuck in your flour bag, manufacturing or anything like that. You never know what's in things, you know what I mean? So it ensures that there's nothing else in there. Also, sometimes things get moist. Dry ingredients get moist and they start to clump, and you don't want big clumps, so this kind of breaks it up. You can push it through, okay? All right, we're going to start with our Spelt flour, and then we're going to get 2 cups of this stuff, all right? Now, Spelt is gluten-free. Cool. However, I am using sugar today, so it's not really a gluten-free recipe, although you could use probably agave nectar or something like that. I'm not sure if that's gluten-free. I guess it probably is. Here you go. I'll have to look that up. All right, 2 cups. Awesome. Now, how to sift. Hold it in one hand over the bowl, very close to the bowl, not above because it's going to go everywhere, and you lightly, ever so lightly, tap it against your hand to make it go into the bowl. You're going to see it's like powdered sugar. It's like lovely snowfall. I guess you guys have been having some beautiful snow hopefully this year, Lake Minnetonka. All right. So I'm not going to sift it all yet because I'm going to add a couple more ingredients like the salt and the baking powder to this. That's something I also like to make sure is sifted because of clump problems of the clumps. Let's wipe this off. Hold on. I have an oily tablespoon. All right. So I'm going to put a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I use a finer grained salt. Don't use like kosher or anything in this because you want it to dissolve easily. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. The baking powder is going to help these muffins rise, so will the eggs. Okay. In goes 1, and in goes 2. Lovely. Okay, now continue to sift. Finish it all up. Doesn't take long. Now I'm going to show you exactly why I sift. This is why I sift. Do you see these little pieces, these little balls I have? These are little clumpy balls that were stuck in my flour. And it's just flour and they just were stuck together, or my baking powder, or whatever it is. I think it's baking powder. Anyways, you can just push that through. Lovely. Alright, next I am going to add bee pollen. It's my secret immune system ingredient. It helps your immune system because it's a bee product. You got what I'm saying? Alright, bee products like royal jelly and bee pollen and things like that, they help your immune system, help you stay strong. In the winter, we all need that, don't we? I'm putting probably half a tablespoon. Let's put half a tablespoon. Half a tablespoon of the bee pollen. Now you can bake with bee pollen. You can also sprinkle it on top of yogurt. You can even sprinkle it on salads. I've done that. It's nice whether it's cooked or whether it's baked or whether it's raw. I love it in yogurt. That's my very favorite way to do it. Also, we need sugar, and I'm going to need 2/3 of a cup of sugar. You can also sift this, but I've been using this and it's a beautiful brand new fresh bag. We're all good. That wasn't quite. There we go. I was skimpy. There we go. Okay, so is that everything I want to put in there? Yes, I believe it is. That's everything I want. So I'm going to stir the dry ingredients to make sure everything's kind of evenly combined in here. Oh, there is one more thing. It's the granola. I have about 1/3 of a cup of granola. Now you can add more if you want to, like half a cup or whatever. But I had 1/3 of a cup of granola left, and I'm like, I'm not going to pack that up to go bring that somewhere with me. That's kind of like teasing yourself with granola. It's not really a snack. It's like half a snack. So in it goes to my muffins today, and thank you, granola muffins. So I have a bunch of seeds in here. This was sweetened with honey. I didn't put any cinnamon or anything like that. There's oats and a little bit of nuts. Nice stuff in there. Flax seeds and things. So again, stir that right in. Now you can use dried fruit if you wanted to in this instead of the fresh fruit. Go and check out the Spelt blueberry muffins that I did. I used dry blueberries as well as fresh in the same recipe. Okay, so the next thing is we are going to add half of this liquid into the dry bowl. Just eyeball it, it's no big deal. Another thing I want to mention is that I have my oven preheated to 375 degrees. Now I have a convection oven. I have it on convection right now. But if you don't have a convection oven, it's no big deal. It's all gravy. But if you have one, be frou-frou and do it. It makes the muffins nice and fluffy and makes them beautiful. In goes the rest. So you've just mixed it through, and now I'm putting the rest in. Why banana and pear today? Because that's what I had on my counter. That's pretty much it. I had a banana ready to be baked with. It was ready to go. And I had a beautiful pear sitting there. So it's apparently a match made in heaven today. We shall see. Okay. So this is a nice consistency. It looks kind of like a pancake batter. That kind of consistency, and I'll show you. Now everything is evenly combined, okay? This is my consistency. So it's kind of like pancake batter, if you can see. It's speckled throughout with the seeds and the granola and the bee pollen. It looks very nice. All right. So let's talk about another trick, a couple more tricks of the trade. All right. There you go. Keep your scraper around because you're going to want to scrape that bowl at the end here. Here I go. I've got a baking sheet, cookie sheet, with my muffin trays. I guess they're not all tins anymore. I can't say tins. These are actually made of silicone and they're flexible. They're non-stick and they're easy to pop the muffins out, right? However, even though they are non-stick and all that lovely, beautiful kind of sky ideas, I like to make sure that my stuff works all the time. So I'm gonna spray them with nonstick spray just for good measure because I want them to just slide out easily all as well. I don't like to struggle with baking and wrecking your baked goods, trying to get it out of the tray. There's nothing worse than that. And then you did all that work and you got yucky, all broken up stuff. It's not cool. So, nonstick. Next trick is, check it out. I have a measuring cup. Now I used this one. Yeah, I'll use this one. So I already had a measuring cup that I used. It's already dirty, so you might as well just use it. I used the measuring cup to put them into the cups, right? So I'm going to fill these cups about 3/4 full. These muffin cups are quite large, actually. They're larger than I think the typical muffin containers. So mine makes 8. One of these recipes makes about 8, I believe. And this will probably make a dozen for you guys in your regular size ones. So in they go. You're gonna have to wait with me. Okay. Try and make sure you got chunks of everything nice in there. This is the perfect size actually to use this for. This is 1/3 of a cup, I think. Here we go. Let's see. It smells lovely. It looks beautiful. So the next thing we gotta do is make sure it bakes up well and it's gonna taste good. So yeah, I like to have stuff like this on hand. If you're gonna have carbs, you wanna have some kind of a little bit of complex carbs. So I think this accomplishes that and it gives you some energy in the morning. You got some fruit in here, a little bit of sugar, you know. Sometimes you need a little kick, especially if you don't drink tea or coffee. I do drink tea though. So, here you go. Try and make sure that you don't get the batter all over the top of the tray, like not in the reservoirs, because it's gonna burn on there. It's so hard to clean off. It's not nice. Okay. All right, we got more today. That's great. You know, you can use the same types of recipes, the same types of amounts of things. And things work out differently every time. You just never know. Hold on. We're doing well here. These look nice. I've got 9 so far. All right. I think we're going to get 10 now. This is the time you use your scraper. Okay. Scrape the rest of that bowl down. You guys are probably wondering what my shirt is about. The got boosh. You're gonna find out soon. I'm foreshadowing a future episode, a barbecue episode. Go check it out. Maybe check out what that means, what boosh means. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? Check out my channel to find out more. My website. Hold on, I'm washing my hands. All right. So we've got 10 made here. That's cool with me. I like that. I like having something that's just quick to grab on my way out the door to go coach or do whatever I'm doing. All right, into my oven goes these, and I'm going to talk to you about one more thing. I'm going to set my timer. These are 30 minutes. These will take about 30 minutes, so I'm going to set my timer for 25. Again, every time you cook is different. Every time you bake is different, I should say, too. And every time you use, even if you use the same recipe, different ingredients have different moisture contents that day. It's never the exact same. So you want to make sure that you're checking things and they're not burning. So it's easier to check them before they burn than to try and save it from burning later, because you just can't, right? So check it early. If a recipe says 20 minutes, check it at like 15 or 18 minutes. If it says 30, check it at 25. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm saying these should take about 30. We're going to check it at 25, make sure everything's going nicely and well, and, you know, make sure they're not burning and they're not overflowing or some weird thing is going on. And then I'm going to show you my cake, my tester. What you're going to do when they're done, you want them to be golden brown. Of course I can. 20 minutes it is. You want them to be golden brown, like baked brown. These are like this, kind of. This is bread we made last night. That's golden brown. You're going to use a cake tester or something sharp, a skewer or a sharp knife, and you're going to stick it in the center of the muffin. Got me? So if it comes out and it comes out completely clean like this, nothing on it, nothing stuck to it, like nothing, that means they're done. Take them out, let them sit for a couple minutes before you take them out of the baking pans. If it comes out and it's got gooey dough batter stuff on, it still needs to go in. So put it in for a couple more minutes and then look at it again. Don't like put it in for 10 more minutes. Put it in for like 3 or 4. You know, gauge it what you think. Just use some common sense and you'll be all right. And we'll be back in a minute when you... I'm going to show you what they look like, okay? My timer just went off, so we're going to grab these muffins. They look done to me. This went for 25 minutes, and I'm glad I checked it at that time because they needed to be checked. They look like they're done and ready. I'm going to put this cake tester in, okay? I call it a cake tester. And it goes to the center of my biggest muffin. Completely clean. See? That's done. So I'm going to let these bad boys sit here for about 2 or 3 minutes, but I'm going to remove them from this tray because it's super hot and they won't cool down as quickly. So I'm going to move that over here. Grab another glove. And I'm going to move these silicone trays over onto here to cool. Quicker and easier. Right, they look like they aren't sticking to the sides at all, which is awesome. I'm going to set this for like, I don't know, 3 minutes. I have my cooling rack. That's where I'm going to transfer them to. But I don't want to do them yet because they're still kind of soft. They're as soft as they're ever going to be, I think. And they're kind of fragile right now because they just got out. Everything, you know, a lot had just happened to them. Jeez, relax. Let them chill for a minute. And then you're going to coax them out gently and put them on here to finish cooling. They smell amazing. I'm going to make some tea quickly and I'm going to show you what they're like when I take them out. Cool? Awesome. There, let me show you what they look like in the pan. There they are. Don't they look nice? Here's my muffins. I'm posing. All right, we'll be right back. Okay, my timer just went off and I like to ensure success. So I'm going to take my little paring knife and I'm going to run it around the edges ever so gently of all of my muffin tins. There's my microwave. That's my tea. Heating it up. Nothing a little knife can't help. Alright, so we're going to work our way all the way around all of them. Sorry, you're going to have to watch all of this. Be gentle. Especially with a sharp knife because it can get stuck in the muffins. They're very fragile. Be careful. All the way around the edges. Some of them will thank you for that. Make sure you're using fresh baking powder as well. I had a baking powder a couple weeks ago that I thought was fresh, but it wasn't making anything rise and it wasn't cool at all. Okay, these are pretty cool to touch now, the silicone. It cools off pretty quickly. So I'm going to dump these over and I'm going to hope for the best. They come right out beautifully. And they did. Yay me. Here we go. Turn them back over, let them cool. All right, we're going to do the same thing with this. Be gentle. They came out beautiful. Perfect. Okay. Now, these have a little bit of substance to them. They're kind of nice and hearty, okay? Let's move them back so you can see them. And I am going to try one of these. Let me try. I always try the ugly ones. You always have like an ugly one that doesn't quite turn out the same way, but these all look pretty good. So I'm going to take the small one. I'm going to cut it in half. Of course, I'm going to put some butter on it. Soft butter. Hold on. I don't believe in margarine, I'm sorry. Sorry, margarine sponsors. Okay, I'm gonna melt it on here. Now check it out. You can see those chunks of the pear. And I'm gonna put some of this, hold on. Oh, right. Melt it on. Melted butter. Nothing like it, right? I'm gonna take some of that off, I don't know that. Okay. Here it is. There's my tea. My tea's probably like a lava inferno right now. It's not bad. It's perfect. Okay. These smell nice. I can see the seeds. Let's see what I got going on. Wow. These are super. These are super. That's exactly what I wanted. Excuse me with my mouth full. That is one tasty muffin. That's going to get you going. Eat some of these. Bring a couple with you in your backpack if you're bringing one, if you're going snowboarding or tobogganing or snowmobiling or, I don't know, cool stuff. Ice fishing. You know. That's stellar. My mouth is completely full. Oh well, it's my kitchen, it's my house, it's my recipe. That's what's up. I hope you enjoyed Cooking Adventures with Kimberly. And make sure you check out this, Aunt Carla's Boosh, if you can't see it. That's where it's at. Go check it out, see what it is, so you're not all confused. And this is Cooking Adventures with Kimberly for Tonka Live Magazine. That's what's up. Follow me on Twitter at Cooking with Kim E with a capital E. Go to Facebook and like the fan page. It's facebook.com/cookingwithkimberly. My shows are on YouTube, youtube.com/cookingwithkimberly, and my site is cookingwithkimberly.com. Make sure you check out Tonka Live magazine. It's tonkalive.com. Eat deliciously, be a champion in your kitchen. Experiment, use what you have. That's it. Eat deliciously. Bye, everybody.